this week is a little bit different. I don't usually do product reviews, but this week I am doing a product review because it seemed relevant. I just got this Mini. It doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and when you go from a car that does have that to one that doesn't, it kind of sucks. And so this company had reached out to me about a system to add CarPlay and Android Auto, and so it seemed like a good fit because I'm actually somebody that was shopping for this. So first off, this company is called Ottocast, even though the box doesn't say anything that resembles Ottocast on it. And don't mind my janky setup here. I'm waiting on a new shift boot. If you're looking for a custom shift knob in this style or whatever style you want, or a custom shift boot, a couple of independent people that will hook you up, I'll put them down in the comments. Just they're not paying me, but shout out to the people that are grinding and doing good work. So I'll put them down in the comments. But this system here, so looks like this. It's a portable screen. It comes in this fancy little box that has no indication that it's from Ottocast at all, but it says portable smart screen on it. And what you get in here, I already took all this stuff out, so it's a little bit messy, but you get your power source. And what's cool about this is when you plug it into the 12 volt, you also have a USB-A now. So it gives you a little bit extra something there to charge your phone. Get an aux cable here, which is the way I've been hooking it up. And then I didn't realize it was going to come with this actually, but this is a backup camera. So my car doesn't have a backup camera. I thought about putting this on as well, but you do have to you have to mount this on the back, so it's like drilling holes, and then you have to splice wires, and I just didn't want to do permanent damage to my car. It's not really damage, but I didn't want to do anything permanent to my car quite yet until I kind of figured out if I'm going to hold on to this car or not. But that's pretty cool there that you have the option to add in a backup camera as well. And then there are instructions. And then it comes with this mount here attached to it. But again, I didn't want to do like quote permanent damage to my car, not damage, but permanent changes to my car, where this has the like super sticky stuff. So if I stuck this on the dash, it'd be a giant pain to get off. So what I did was I asked for one of these long arm claw deals. And so you just unscrew the back and pop this one on, and this way I can just stick it on the windshield. Now it does have to be pretty hefty because this thing is heavy, but anyway, so first off, gotta plug in the power source. Nice and easy. Plug in the aux cable. Now here is my first issue. I've had two issues with the system. Both of them have been worked out. One of them is kind of an issue with the system itself. One of them was kind of my own issue that I just kind of had to figure out, but I'll get to that. First off, if you just use the aux to connect like I did, then you could end up with some interference, and I had some problems with that. So it sounded like almost like Morse code in the background. So I'm sorry if somebody from beyond the grave was trying to send me Morse code messages. I don't speak Morse code, but I got this thing here, which is a noise reducer. It was like $9 on Amazon, and that has completely solved the problem. So plug that in and plug that into the aux of your car, and then just set your car to your aux setting, and that's pretty much it. You go into the screen. I mean, the screen is pretty simple. It tells you everything that it does: Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. If you want to record, since it does beyond the backup camera, it also has a forward-facing camera. So if you want to use that, then you can record video. You do have to get a card for it, like a memory card, which I don't have in here, but you can then record video and play it back. A couple of audio output options. This does have a speaker in it, or you can connect to another via Bluetooth or via aux, however you want to do it. But for mine, the simplest setup seemed to be aux. When you click into Android Auto the first time, it'll tell you to connect via Bluetooth, and you just whip out your phone, go to your Bluetooth settings, and connect there. Now, here's where my other issue came in. You need to make sure that you disconnect from your car. If you have your Bluetooth connected to your car, and then somebody calls you, and you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay open, or you try to call somebody, you're not going to be able to talk to them because it's going to try to come through your car, and your car is connected to the system, and then nothing is talking to each other correctly. So you need to make sure that your Bluetooth is disconnected from your car if you want to be able to use it when someone calls you or when you call someone. And then from there, I mean, it's pretty simple. It works exactly like Android Auto does on any vehicle. Now, the other things that are in here, you do have some other settings here. You can adjust the brightness, of course, and then you've got pretty simple stuff here. Make sure your microphone is turned on if you are going to use it for calls and stuff, or if you want to use the voice control, because it also does have voice control, and beyond the Android Auto. If you are using it as a backup camera, it even has the reverse lines, and you can adjust to those, so that's kind of cool. Got auto dimming settings. You can set which driving position you're in, whether you're left-hand drive or right-hand drive. Your resolution, it's all pretty self-explanatory, and it all looks pretty clean. A lot of times the aftermarket stuff, like the screens kind of look a little janky, a little bit like MS-DOS, kind of like you have a developer that doesn't have any kind of design background. It's something I would build, honestly. It's something that just looks not great, just mostly text, and then there's some buttons floating all around. But this actually looks like they had someone with some kind of design chops and UX experience looking at it, because this stuff is actually laid out well and it is self-explanatory. Now, the only thing is when you go to your initial setup, it does have a little bit of the text and the buttons floating just when you do that like initial Bluetooth connectivity thing, that initial screen. But then once you're connected, you never have to go back to that again. And once you're connected, every time you get in the car now, as long as you have this thing plugged in, then it will just automatically connect. So I have been unplugging mine just so it doesn't like suck the juice out of my car when I'm parked, and then plugging it back in when I get back in the car. But it does automatically reconnect with no issues. Now, one problem I do have with this thing is, since I'm not using this on my dash and my car is small and I have this big hump in the middle of my dash, it's not really a great place to put it. So I've got it hung up here. It's not the most convenient. It gets the job done, but it's within reach. It's just if I had a passenger there, it'd be kind of in their way. And if I wanted to use the camera, I like this, that you can just switch back and forth from the camera easily, and then you can record something if you need to. But then with that camera, now I've got this bar in the way. So I don't know, there's probably a better way to do it. And like I said, if you keep your car for longer than I do, since I just don't know if I'm going to keep the car for a long time, most people keep their cars longer than I do, so then you just use this and stick that on the dash. But then my only other issue here is just that there are a lot of wires. These wires are kind of in the way. I could get a clip here, a zip tie or something to keep them out of the way. There's probably a halfway decent solution out there for that. But I mean, generally speaking, the system works well. I have not had any real issues with it, other than the things that I mentioned that were very easily solvable. I do kind of wish that the noise reducer would just come with the pack. I mean, it's like a $9 piece, like I mentioned, and this thing is a couple $100, a little bit less than $200. It would be nice if it just came with that, because most people, if you're using the aux, then you're going to need that anyway. And then just not having any place for the cords, not having any place to put this. But that's really more of an issue just with my car setup. I have a small car. It would be nice to see it integrated into the screen. There are other solutions to that, but then it's a lot more intrusive. You're taking things in and out, reconnecting a bunch of stuff. As like a quick and dirty, not even dirty, just a quick, simple solution, I mean, this works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it overall, definitely. I mean, let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, if you've used other systems, if you've used this system, if it's worked out great, if it's worked out terribly, This is really my first one that I'm testing for something like this. So, you know, if you have other opinions or other products that you've used, I'm definitely interested in hearing about that. Like I said, you know, generally speaking, the device itself works great, does exactly as advertised, and it gets the job done. Thanks for watching. See you next time in a car review.